quick, what we're going to do is break it up into offensive and defensive unit meetings right now. If you want defense, remain in here. If you want, I'm sorry, special teams, and then right after that, if you want defense, remain in here. If you want offense, it'll be out this door to your left. You got it?
You doing a great job.
I'm all right.
You're already in the red with me. I don't even know why you acting.
Good morning, how are you? Office down the hall on the left. Good morning. Office down the hall on the left.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Get them right, Tom. Get them right. That's good.
J Mac from Syracuse, New York, man, came all the way out to see my Colorado Buffs.
What channel do you watch? They brought you out here.
The pregame show.
Never watched the college game till last season when Coach Prime came to Colorado. And I am in Colorado at Folsom Field. I am the Colorado Buffaloes auntie from Texas. Sweet treat.
Hey, I've been following the pregame show. It's all about let's go Buffs.
Away from Texas, yes sir. Watch you every single day. Nobody lays it down like Uncle Neely and the pregame show.
Neely, pregame show behind the scenes of everything. And why does he get that kind of access? Why does he get that kind of access? Because trust is involved. You would never get the kind of access you desire unless there's trust and relationship. Trying to put you up on game.
Introduce themselves as we started to do, and then we'll be on our way.
All right, I'm Rashad Davis, go by Coach Shad, assistant wide receiver coach here.
Yep, name's Coach Kresge. I'm a graduate assistant working with the quarterback.
Jason Phillips, I coach wide receivers.
Michael Pollock, special teams coordinator, assistant running backs.
Andrew Zimmer, assistant special teams coordinator, assistant tight ends coach. Everybody calls me Coach Sim.
Gunnar White, offensive line coach.
Skylar Mornaway, assistant quarterbacks.
George Hagerman, assistant offensive line coach.
Brett Barloni, tight ends.
Andre Gerard, assistant line coach.
Johnny Mack, assistant running backs.
Marshall Falk.
So you can see we got. We want to play physically, aggressively, and collectively, possess and advance an oval-shaped air-filled leather ball. And we want to either do it on the ground or through the air, down the field, and ultimately across the goal line. Right? So, as head coaches, sometimes you want to get involved with the theoretical stuff. Right? After that, of course, everything we do, whether it be in the locker room, the training room, the meal room, the weight room, the classroom, and the practice field, should train us to accomplish our mission. These are the things that we have to master as an offense. Get to play properly, get lined up properly, make sure the defense is deployed properly, get the ball snapped properly, right? All the things that take no effort, or excuse me, no talent, and really take no effort. It's just a matter of concentration. But we want to master those first things first. The next thing is we have to dominate the line of scrimmage, right? And although we did a lot of fancy things last year, and we were better than the year before, we were god-awful the first year on offense, right? Blocking them and protecting the passer. We were better last year. And we're on our journey to become dominant. If we got a fair fight run, we got to get 5 or 6 yards, right? Even if it's not a fair fight, we got to get positive yardage. When we choose to throw the ball, we got to protect the passer, right? So these are all things that are mandates in our offense. However you scheme it up, you got to find a way to create big plays. When you watch the Philadelphia Eagles, and I work for Vic Fangio, what they do with their quarters coverage is they eliminate the explosive play. And then the last thing is, and I mentioned this already, score points. What the hell good are you as an offense if you don't score points, right? And I think we need to make sure that we keep that in mind. We've got to get that damn ball across the goal line. And if for some reason we don't, we got to position ourselves to kick a field goal. And that's all over the top of being smart, fast, tough, disciplined, and with character.
What's Becco, defensive line?
George Elo. I work with the defensive ends.
One shot, keep the killers.
Anthony Ballard, call me Coach AB, work with the corners and the nickels.
Joby Schneider. I work with Coach Hart and the linebackers.
I'm Caden Nari. I work with the defensive end.
Oliver Clear, assistant safety coach.
Sebastian Patches, D-line assistant.
Having the joy to work with Travis Hunter this year for the rest of my life, culture is clearly defined when your best player is your hardest worker, right? To me, that's the answer, right? When you can lead from the front, maybe not as vocal or have a C on your chest, right? But when you outrun everybody, when you outlift everybody, when you outplay everybody, right? That's the culture, right? That's your standard. I found in my time here, right, better people will make a better team, right? Brian talked about it in his first team meeting. We don't have the superstars that we've had here in the past, right? But we have a chance to have a better team. Why, right? Defensively, we talk about having a tribe mentality, right? Stole that from the Navy SEALs. So no job too big, no job too small. Everybody wants to be Travis, right? In this world of 2025, everybody wants to be out in front, have the endorsement deals and all that stuff, right? But if the 3 technique's not in his gap, or the nose guard gets reached, or something bad happens, that's the beauty of defense, right? Is it takes all 11, right? Learn the learners. This is key. You know, again, I was in the NFL the last 12 years. We meet different here. We operate different here. You got to know how these kids learn, right? That's not to say that you have to downplay or do what they do, but it makes no sense to have an hour-and-a-half meeting now, right? They live in these 15-second swipes and all that stuff. So what is that? For us, it's been more walkthroughs, right? Didn't do a lot of walkthroughs in the NFL because you had more meeting time, right? Candidly. Here, if you got 40 minutes, you know, we're going to be on the turf area for that 15 of them. Right, I think you're dealing in this world of they're very visual, right? They have to see it. They have to touch the stove to see that it's hot, even though you told them 100 times. So that's how we do it, right? I think it's our job as coaches, as men, as leaders, is to get the best out of these dudes, right? Don't just sit back and say, hey, we can't do this or we can't do that. Do what they do well. The only thing I really care about is who the most important person or people in their life are, and then what is their why. Because once you know that, once I know what your why is, as Prime talked about, then I can reach it. Right? If you're not having a great practice, or you're not going to class, or you're late, or you're whatever, hey dog, you told me you want to go to the league, right? We've got to tighten up. This is not what it is. It's just not generic, you know, coaching everybody the same, right? How do we define effort, right? You heard them out there today, right? If I'm a DB and it's ball away from me, I got to take 5 hard steps. Okay? If I'm a level 2 player, meaning I'm a linebacker or a down safety with the middle of the field closed, I got to touch the ball on every snap. Okay? If I'm a D lineman and the ball goes away, again, it's 5 hard steps. Right, so we've all, you know, done the thing where it's a change of speed, it's whatever it is. That's how we clearly define it, right? Because then you can hold them accountable. You have to look at the why that you teach. Again, if we're saying players, not plays, you got to be able to reach your best players, right? Does that mean you have to bend a little bit? Yeah, it does, right? But are you happy on Friday nights or on Saturdays? Yeah, you are. So I think there's always a give and take there. So that's something that, you know, Prime says if you can have 6 guys, they're going to win their one-on-one matchups, you should win that down. So that's kind of what we preach there.
So where y'all from?
We up from Miami, Florida.
All the way from Miami.
All the way from Miami.
Appreciate y'all coming, man.
Hey, man, we love what you guys are doing, man. We want to support you in every way.
Appreciate your family.
And we're recruiting at home. Everything we see at home, we bring it this way.
My man.
You gotta believe. Dude, we've been believing since day one,
That's
dog.
why I gave them to
Remember
you.
back in Jackson State? We've been believing with you in the pregame show.